Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and this morning I showed you some images, or a teaser image, of the tailgate of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. And as it went public, as that information went live, we also saw a link on Toyota's social media account to go to the upcoming vehicles and sign up for details on the new Tacoma. But also on the website were some silhouette images of the next generation Toyota Tacoma. So I want to show you those images. I'm going to talk about the tailgate, and I also want to tell you I wrote a post about my 5 things I really hope that this new Tacoma has, and so I'm gonna share those details with you as well. So let's go ahead and hop to the website, get right to it. So it's on pickuptrucktalk.com. 3 words, pickuptrucktalk.com. You can see on the homepage, and then what we'll do is we'll go to the new images show 2024 Tacoma in more detail. And I'm going to call this the Tacoma TRD Pro just because of looking at the images. So this is on the website, and it says the all new 2024 Toyota Tacoma, and we can see the side profile and there's updates thing. That's to sign up for the newsletter or email alerts, whatever, when new details come out. And so that is the Tacoma. We see the shape looks pretty similar to Tundra, and I'm going to say that probably a few more times, similar to the Tundra. And you'll see more why. Right there is a good indication. Those are sequential turn lights, tail lights. Those are the same ones that are in the Tundra, and they will flash different. They flash, I think, inside the out or outside the in on turn signals, and they just have a really interesting look to them as you own or drive a Tundra like I did last year. So we can see the hood shape is much more like Tundra. And so what they've done is they've raised kind of the sides, they dropped the middle down, and so you can kind of see over the hood a little bit better on the front. And then on the grill, you can see Toyota is spelled out, and that's a very big clue that this is a Tacoma TRD Pro. And we'll get another massive clue here in a minute. As we come around, we can see the same kind of lighting signature that the Tundra has. This is basically, like, again, similar to Tundra. We know it's an off-road version. We can see these kind of off-road beefy tires, and we can see some pretty good ground clearance. And so obviously Tacoma is going to be the TRD Pro. And then boom, there's your biggest indicator of all. We have the LED light bar in the middle of the grill, which is what they've done with the Tacoma or the Tundra TRD Pro. So we know this is the Tacoma TRD Pro version of this truck. As we come around the side, we'll do this one more time. You can see that profile, and I'll get this more detail, but we can see that it looks, it's hard to tell with silhouettes. We don't see an antenna. It looks like that's gone, and we have just the shark fin. I don't remember if Tacoma's had the antenna for a couple years, but if people don't know, the AM/FM works better with the antenna, but most people are doing Sirius anyways, and AM's working pretty decent with shark fin these days. And so there's also Wi-Fi built in these trucks, and like I said, the Sirius XM that works with a shark fin. So now, if you missed the news this morning, gets the iForce Max engine, and this is going to be interesting. So it's iForce Max engine name, but we don't have details on the engine. If the name sounds familiar, guess what? That was the Toyota Tundra's engine. And so if you look at this engine, it produces 437 horsepower at 5,200 RPMs and a staggering 583 pound-feet of torque at just 2,400 RPMs. And so it's the same 3 point, excuse me, not the same, but the same name for the Tacoma and the Tundra. I don't foresee this being the same 3.5 liter V6. It just seems like it's overkill for the Tacoma. It seems like they would go smaller, like say the Colorado did. They did a 2.7 instead of they did 2.7 in Silverado. So I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. Could it have the same deal? Is it going to be a hybrid? It's going to be a hybrid for sure. And looks like maybe the top hybrid powertrain would be in the Tacoma, which is TRD Pro, which is the same way they do the Tundra. And so fuel economy, though, for the vehicle has been not much better. If you look at the numbers for the non-hybrid, you have the 1723.19, and then if you look at the hybrid iForce Max and the limited as well, so if you do limited, 1722.19 and 1922.20, so about 1 mile per gallon more. And we'll get to more about that in a minute. But when you look at that tailgate a little bit closer, which is what this image here is, you see a TRD Pro stamp there, iForce Max. And again, there's a lot more details in my video. I should stop and just let you guys watch the other video. A lot more on pickuptrucktalk.com. So, but let's get to my 5 things I wish this Tacoma will have. It's my wish list, and this is not published quite yet, but these are the top 5 things. And I have some specs here I need to go over. But number 1, first thing is better entry exit. So this is a topic that you guys have discussed with us. We've discussed with you. It's debatable online, huge debates, huge firefights on the comment sections. But basically what happens is this A-pillar of the Tacoma is just sloped in such a way that where the A-pillar is next to the windshield, it's that first pillar that goes past the hood. and it's sloped in such a way that a lot of people are doing a little duck thing to get in. Now, I've had people scream at me in the comments, and I've said, "Hey, go get in your truck." I don't do it. I don't do it. And they come back and go, "Some bitch, I do it." And I think we all, for whatever reason, because that truck was such a slim shape, they raised the floor up, and they dropped the roof down to the point to allow more ground clearance. That not everybody. Jill didn't have a problem at 5 foot tall, and I've had friends at 6 foot tall. I had no problems, and I've had friends at 6 foot tall. I've had massive problems. You can't even get in the truck. And so, what I'd like to see is just another inch or two. Just you don't need to give me 25 feet of longer roof headline, just an inch or two to make sure everybody can get in. And I'm sorry, it's not my belly that's stopping me from getting in. I talked to the chief engineer, Sheldon Brown, on this, and he had the same problem as well. That I saw him get in, and he did the same duck and derv. And he said, yeah, we've had people complain to him about that. So this is something that the Tacoma is known for. Just the shape that happened in 2016. It's that slimline shape, and it just creates some problems. I actually saw some older generation Tacomas in my area, and I looked at their roof, their overall profile, and they're much easier to get in and out of. And so that's one thing I wish they're going to do something better with that. Another key thing I want to talk to you about is about the fuel economy in the hybrid. So if you remember with the hybrid fuel for the Tundra, the current generation of the Tundra, that was really not much difference. For the new Tundra, we had set 17, 23, 19 and 17, 22, 19. So not much difference as far as, excuse me, that's hybrid, non-hybrid, but 19, 22, 20 and 17, 23, 19. So not a big difference, not a huge difference, especially when you compare it to other Toyota vehicles. And this is my point. If you look at, for example, the Toyota Sienna hybrid, that gets 36, 36, 36, and 35, 36, 30, 35 for all-wheel drive and front-wheel drive. Now compare that with a 3.5 liter V6. Oh, that's the same one that's in the Tacoma. It's the same displacement. May not be the same engine. It's the same displacement size. It had mile per gallon numbers of 19, 27, 22, and 18, 24, 20. Now, we're talking about a minivan versus a truck. I get that there's a difference there. I get it's a little bit different customer. But if you can do it in a minivan, how in the hell can't you do it in a truck? That's my question. And for the Tacoma, the Tundra's rationale was going to be a better towing rig. I get that. Tacoma, come on. Towing is such a low on the list of people buying this thing. They want more power. They want more performance off-road. But please, let's get at least some fuel economy differences between the hybrid and non-hybrid. Give people a reason. And I understand that we probably won't have a reason to step up and buy the hybrid because you'll probably be forced into buying the hybrid for the Tundra TRD Pro and the Tacoma TRD Pro. Will probably come with only one option, but at least give me something there. I also want more cab and bed configurations. Right now, Toyota does an access cab and a double cab. And I just, looking at the Colorado and Canyon, they went crew cab, short bed only. It'd be nice to have more options, to have more cab options. You know, it seems like these automakers are making these mid-sized trucks very typecast, very one way, and it's very much eliminating some of the customers, and they're being forced into buying a full-size truck to get a better cab configuration they want. And so I just would like maybe a crew cab, longer bed. Just make the bed a little bit longer. Make it like Nissan. Nissan does access cabs. They do double cabs. They do longer beds. They do shorter beds. They give people choices. And I'm just a proponent of more and more choices. The last thing I want to, not last thing, but the fourth thing I want to put out for is going to be right here. I'll get these numbers and looking at the in the bed plug. So if you don't remember, and maybe you weren't around the channel, I had an FM50 power boost. Okay. And I had ran the power off the saw, that kind of stuff. And then when you look at the Tacoma, you didn't have that same kind of power. So what I want to say is that the 2022 Tundra had power that was 120 volts and 400 watts in the power in the bed. Now, this all changed when the Ford F-150 Power Boost came out, added real power in the bed, so you can include running a welder-off truck or powering a house after a storm. And I just wonder, with the Tacoma's appeal to be an off-road and overlanding crowd kind of truck, don't you think it should be better? You want more power when camping or off-grid living? I think so. And then I find it embarrassing, frankly, that the Sienna minivan has 1,500 watts of power. Meanwhile, the Tacoma's power outlet can't cut through a 2x4 that, like I showed in this video. And I don't know why the link's not working, but there's a video I did of the Tundra's 220 volt, 120 volt, 400 watt plug. I ran my compound miter saw, and I couldn't cut through a 2x4. Why does the minivan have more power than the truck? I mean, that's my overall point. It's like, why don't we have better power? Why, it doesn't make sense to me. And finally, the last thing I would tell you is, last wish list I have is for more rear seat legroom. So this was interesting, and I'll see if I can't. I see my link is not working again for whatever reason, but the Colorado Canyon, in fact, have less legroom than the prior generation, even with a 3-inch longer wheelbase, 1 inch extra length, and 1 inch of extra width. Now, isn't that crazy? So they're making crew cab mid-sized trucks that aren't really crew cab mid-sized trucks. They're really basically for emergency only for 4 people. And I know I see commercials online and I see people that say, they get out and the family of 4 gets out of these trucks, but that's tight. That's really tight. And you saw with the Chevy Colorado video I did, my friend Dan Edmonds, who was 6'2", got in the back he got behind himself, basically 6'2" in the front, 6'2" in the back, and his knees were right against the seat. And so I'm like, I don't want to be forced into a full-size truck because I have kids with rear-facing car seats, or I want to carry 4 adults. I want to be able to have more choices, and a mid-sized truck fits in the garage. And so my question is, if we're going to make these mid-sized trucks bigger and bigger and busier physically, like the Colorado did, why are we not making interior space a little bit bigger? And again, I'm not asking for 25 feet more room. I'm not asking for a semi type of truck. I'm just asking for a couple inches here and there. If I'm going to have to if I go to a smaller displacement engine, if I go to more turbocharged, if I go to more hybrid, for me, it's like, give me some real benefits. If you're going to go hybrid, put the inverter in underneath the bed and give me real power in the back with plugs. If you want the truck bigger, fine. I don't care. Make it taller, whatever. Just give me an inch more room. You can make those seats thinner. You can make the seat foam thinner. You can really work on this stuff. I know you can do it. You could make the overall length an inch longer. I'm, again, not asking for major things. More cab and bed choices. This truck now has its own factory. The Tacoma is now built in a G-Town plant, we call it, in Mexico, and another plant. There's 2 plants in Mexico. There's a Baja facility and a G-Town plant, and you have this whole factory building Tacoma. So why don't you do more with it if you have a plant now? You're not sharing the plant facility with the San Antonio plant with the Tundra. You have a whole plant dedicated to it. So you can't tell me you don't have the capacity to do that. And yeah, like I said, let's make the cab just touch taller, and let's fuel economy. Why is fuel economy such non-starter for these brands? Why do we, like, for example, the new Colorado has worse fuel economy than the prior generation did. What? Why? Let's make this better. That's what I'm saying. I'm really hoping that Tacoma's going to be better. I'm excited to see more about it. I'm sure you guys are too. I know we're going to see a lot more teaser images, just the way it's going to be, but I really hope that my hopes will come true. But I'm very pessimistic. So that's what I got for you. More, check the website down below at pickuptrucktalk.com. Check out the videos over here. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.